Welcome everyone to round 2 of Thursday, June 8th, Star Wars Unlimited Locals Night over at Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault in Brownsburg, Indiana. Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. You walk away with your promo pack and at least one pack of the current set. And welcome to round 2 of Valkyrie's Store Showdown for the Secrets of Power meta. In the right side corner, we got Vos Red against the left side corner of Han ECL, or Han Shadow ECL. Alrighty, folks, like I said in round 1's video, this was one of the 4 topping decks we had in the format. So yes, it is good to see. Nonetheless, it's a very different Han. We've seen so far a lot of Han Blue, or Han, yeah, just Han Shadow Blue. And I brought Han to Shadow Force Green. So now we're seeing Han Shadow ECL. So, but nonetheless, it all just is the exact same deck for Han Shadow. It's about spamming your bodies cheaply, putting damage markers onto them, and then bringing out bodies one step sooner rather than bringing them out on the curve. So typically, if you want to bring out 3-cost body, you need to have 3 of your active energy. So, but in Han Shadow's case, just tap it, deal 2 damage to your unit, and bring it out. You're able to bring out guys very much faster with Han's effect. That's like Crate Dragons, Red 3s, not mentioning you have access to Grogu, which can tap itself to remove 2 damage markers on any unit on your side of the board, and then put that on anywhere else. So then you can move that damage marker to your opponent's bodies. And because we have ECL here, soon to be rotated out of the format. Hooray for everyone, besides everyone who hates Dryden Boss. As the ECL leader, you can epic action. You can play at a 6-cost, paying its cost, and give it ambush for the face. So basically, it's a mid-range beatdown strategy. And over on the right side, this is our Kestis Force Blue player, everyone. They've now swapped over to Vos. Dryden Boss with a showcase leader as well. Anyways, Dryden Boss states on his front side, tap and pitch a card. You may play a card that is 5 costs or less and give it ambush. Flips over for, oh my gosh, does he flip for 6 or 7? I think he flips for 7. He flips for 7. Han, the Shadows flip for 5. And then does the exact same thing on his backside where you can play a unit, ping it for 2, and then pay 1 less for it. Dryden Boss flips for 7, and on his backside, pitch a card, and then you can play a unit, pitch 1 card, play any unit out of your hand, giving it ambush, paying, of course, its cost. So his backside is more ECL than his front side, but again, he's not like super powerful. I believe he's at 4/7, so he's not like he doesn't have like a long staying power on his backside. So typically, once you flip to your backside, then you're bringing out your big things to ambush into your opponent. And in this case, you are red, so you have access to Crate Dragons. You have access to a lot of very big guys that you can then bring out and then hit your opponent in the face with because of the ambush. Now, again, on his front side, he's a lot more fair because he can only bring out 5 costs or less on the ambush instead of everything. But I still think, arguably, it's still arguable to my day that Vos Red or Vos Blue are kind of the ways to play Boss. I think Blue is the better way to play Boss because it gets you far more better access to some better cards like the Avenger and like the Vader from LOF that's on attack. When played, give a shield token to yourself and one of your opponent's units, and then on attack, kill a guy with a shield token. So you're just capable of literally just going, play Vader, give a shield token to something you want to just merge straight up, swing the Vader into something else to kill thanks to the ambush, and then merge the other unit off the board for a 2-for-1, which is not really bad. But nonetheless, in the red strategy, you have access to Darth Mauls, you have access to Jango Fett, you have access to a lot of really good hyper-aggression stuff, like in the very late game, you have access to that Crate Dragon to play. Not mentioned because you are in green, you do have Timely Intervention as well, that you can use the Timely Intervention out things, smuggling it out, or playing it for its normal cost, and then Timely Intervention guys out as well for the ambush. Not mentioning you do get access to Vader in this strategy as well. But nonetheless, it is time to see who will get game number 1 in round number 2. Anyways, here we go for round number 2. We're going to be finishing up our almighty resourcing here. We're going to go for the 2. We're going to go for the Karis Nimic, the new guy himself. We're going to go for our price on your head to immediately allow us to ramp. Again, price on your head. When the unit dies, you can immediately take the top card of your deck and ramp. Again, Boss needs to ramp, folks. He has to ramp. Remember, he's a 7. He flips for 7. And again, you need to get your backside as fast as you can so that you can then start ambushing everything out of your hand. Again, Boss on his front side is 5 or less can only be ambushed. So anyways, we're going to go for a second price on your head on the 𝐿 𝐂𝐍𝐿 on death. You may reveal a aggression heroic card, and you create a readied spy token. And then we're gonna go play for the then we're gonna bring out the apologies, that is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're in the glare as well. Man, I don't remember my the camera getting so much glare on round number 1, but oh well. But anyways, Obi-Wan Kenobi is down on the ground here, but it's not too bad. You can still definitely tell the cards when once they come down. We're gonna go for Boss to pitch the Vader pilot, and then we're gonna pay a bunch. We're gonna go for the Jango Fett to kill off the 𝐿 𝐂𝐍𝐿. Then that will give us a price on our head as well, and then that's going to go for the overwhelm damage there as well, and then 2 price on your head, so that will allow us to immediately ramp it, giving us the ability. And then we're going to go for Jango's effect. When he kills a unit by battle, you can then immediately be able to draw 1 card there, so that's pretty nice. And anyways, 𝐿 did reveal there to get the spy token. I didn't see what the reveal was, but you guys should have all seen it. Anyways, the spy token is ready. Then we're going to go for 2 damage, and we're going to go for 3 as we're going to go. Okay, so we're going to go swing over the Jango Fett with the Boba Fett with the Obi-Wan, and then we're going to use the effect of good old Han there to reduce the cost of course, the Poe-Dameron, which again, like I said, that's what makes Han 2 so good, or Han 2 or Han Shadow so good, is that you can just reduce the cost of like guys on 5, play them out for a 4 cost. So anyways, we're going to pitch out the Krayt Dragon to allow us to then go for an ambush of a level 5 guy. We're going to go for the Darth Maul. Darth Maul is going to immediately be able to murk off both the Obi-Wan and the Poe-Dameron there, because again, Poe-Dameron has the 2 damage. Again, Maul on play can swing twice, so as long as it survives, it does get the double swing here. Anyways, the spy is going to hit for 2. We do have the ability to flip the Dragon Balls here because we have cheap D7. Again, he's a 5/7, I thought he was a 4/7, and he's got 1 more damage, 1 more attack point on him. Anyways, we're going to go for we're just going to, I guess, tap out the Han there. I don't remember. I thought that they had I don't know why they tapped out the Han there. They didn't really play a unit. Oh, I guess their action, they're just tapping out the Han there to get them to reduce cost of 1. So I guess they're just going to take the initiative and then just pass from there. I'm not sure why the Han was tapped. They hadn't played anything with a reduced cost. That was last turn, so a little strange. But anyways, now the Dragon Balls has quite the hand here, because now they're at 8 thanks to all that. Anyways, we're going to go for the Wrecker to immediately play itself out. Oh, we're going to use the ECL. I don't know if they, because they got the ambush, so that had to come off the ECL effect there. So Wrecker's going to come out as well there, and then it's going to trigger the Wrecker effect. And then we're going to go for immediately for the Merc of, with the Devastator coming down, working off the Wrecker there, so that it gets killed off, and because the Wrecker did bash into Dragon Boss. Yeah, ECL was burned there as well. So anyways, the Han's going to swing in for 3 damage points there. The problem now becomes, how does the Han player deal with that Devastator in spaces? We see another Devastator come out as well. So again, that is 4 indirect damage chosen, where you get to play the indirect damage. Interestingly, they decided to put in a open fire into the resources. So yeah, we are finally seeing that the ECO, they get burned on the Wrecker effect as well. That's what my thought was completely. So anyways, they're going to go in for the Devastator to swing. As a reminder, ECL is only 25 damage points here. So again, it is going to die a little quicker there, as the Han player is going to scoop that one up. They just can't seem to get a win, especially with the Devastator in the sky. There's no way for them to deal with that 9 striking Devastator. Again, on a 25 health base, they were already pretty well dead. Again, they already had 16, 10, they had 19 damage on it. Unless they could get rid of the Devastator, the boss player can easily just take the initiative and then force now on the Han player. The Han player only dealt 15 damage. 3 from the Han isn't going to be enough. So they'd have to find a way to kill the Devastator. So nonetheless, Vos Red takes game number 1. Let's move into game number 2. All right, folks. Both our players are finishing up their resourcing in game number 2. Han Solo is going to go here first. Give him some a Gunji. And then we're going to go for the Kylo's TIE Silencer in the sky there for the 3-2. So it's going to be able to hit for at least 1 more damage when the Gunji can do here as well. So that is pretty nice. On TIE skill, that was really going to matter. Oh, Sabine's TIE Fighter. Okay. ECLing the Sabine's TIE Fighter, which is pretty cool. Then getting the extra experience token to it as well. We're going to go for the Super Laser Tech to ambush into the Gunji, immediately dealing 2 damage out to the Gunji there as well. So I don't know why we haven't yet put the 2 damage on the Gunji. That is very important right now. That should have been a reminder from both sides that there needs to be 2 damage on the Gunji, because again, it took the Super Laser Tech into the face here. As we're going to pitch off of them all, and then we're going to go for the other Super Laser Tech. That's going to be 4 damage on the Gunji as well. So that should have, I think we pointed that out now. Again, really cool. I like what the boss player can do with those Super Laser Tech. It's really cool when you can just ambush them in and kill it. Now, again, it isn't great because Vos has to pitch a card to do that every single time. But again, another aspect of what Vos can do is we have Palpatine's Return right now in the format still. So you can go Palpatine's Return to immediately allow for to bring a force unit out for cheap. But anyways, we're going to go for Sabine's TIE Fighter. Sabine's TIE Fighter, once again, to get an experience token because we have a green unit. We are allowed to give an experience token to a 1 unit we control. Anyways, then we're going to go for the Padme Amidala down. We're going to deal 2 damage to Padme. But then we're going to be able to bring out 2 spy tokens. Surprising they want to keep the 2 damage on the Padme, because I believe off the effect of the Padme when deal damage, you could kill a spy there. So a little interesting. But nonetheless, that is, of course, what everyone is trying to win for right now in this Sword Championship, or the Sword Championship, Padme Amidala, Queen Amidala. I don't know why I keep wanting to call him Padme. Technically, it is Padme. But nonetheless, the Queen states on it, when played, play 2 spy tokens. Any damage that goes into the Queen, you can push into a unit that shares an aspect with her. She either Naboo or official, so typically you just push it into the 2 spy tokens, and then basically the 2 spies die. Anyways, we're going to go for the Dryden Boss. Dryden Boss coming down and flipping here. Again, Sabine's TIE Fighter is getting a little big out there in space. A really cool thing is what we did see with the ECL here is it's going to just power itself up. It's just going to be a nuisance in space unless you can get rid of it. But one thing you can do, and I have done it before, is that you ECL and the Sabine's TIE Fighter into something in space, and then because as long as you have a green unit in play, you can give it an experience token. It survives the battle, and then basically from there you basically have this TIE Fighter that just knocked out one cool thing in space. So yeah, it's an earlier burn of ECL, but it's a really good burn of ECL because they had the green unit. And when we're going to flip for Han, I think the boss player is losing this one. Is we're going to go for immediately for a Wrecker, using Wrecker, bringing Wrecker down with 2 cheaper. Then we're immediately going to be able to kill off the boss. Again, the Wrecker is skilled to burn a resources on play. It's just typically you see Wrecker come out from ECL rather than just get played, uses it when it play effect to burn a resource and then smash your opponent in the face. So anyways, dealing 5 damage, of course, to boss, and then punching boss in the face with the Obi-Wan for 3, basically meaning that boss is now dead, but the Obi-Wan only has 1 health point left, but there's really not much else you can really do. You're really going to struggle here. So anyways, we're going to go for Palpatine's Return. That's basically going to be able to play the Emperor out for free. We're going to immediately Merc off Wrecker here, which sucks if we had to push all the damage into Wrecker, but there really wasn't much else we could really do. Anyways, the boss player's just pointing it out. There's nothing they could do. That's too big of a board for them to be able to control and do anything with it. So game 2 goes to Han ECL. That means it's time to go to that all-important game number 3. Welcome to game number 3. Both our players have finished up their resourcing, as we see an HK-47 and a Gunji come on down to the battlefield as well. So anyways, we're going to have to see what we want to do here. Get HK-47 whenever a unit dies, it deal 1 damage to your opponent's base. A great way to just ping chip damage onto your opponent's base. I really liked it in my Boba GTL green deck. But again, if you're in any red villainy, why aren't you playing HK-47? It's just a really good card to just like chip damage your opponent. Anyways, 2 damage onto the Gunji from the HK-47 as well. So very interesting what we're going to do here. I do see that Poe pilot card. That is a pretty neat tech that you can do in the Han effect, where you can play out Poe for his effect 2 less and then bring out the X-Wing and then slit the Poe under the X-Wing, removing the damage because now he's an upgrade. So anyways, Gunji's just going to kill off HK-47 there. And we're immediately going to be able to go for a super laser tech, deciding not to ambush in the super laser tech. And we're immediately going to reduce the cost of the Kazuto there. Again, Kazuto gets a plus, has raid 2 already on him as well. If you have less resources than your opponent, you get an extra +2. So right now right now it is going to matter because that super laser tech is going to, if the super laser tech dies either by the Gunji or by just anything really, then your Kazuto is actually going to be hitting for 6 damage. So anyways, we're going to go for open fire. Yep, that's a good shot there. Just get rid of the Kazuto there. Just make sure it is on the board presence right now because that is going to be a humongous nuisance. Anyways, the Gunji's going to swing. We're going to kill off the Gunji with the super laser tech. We can't just let that Kazuto live. Anyways, then we're going to go for the Queen Amidala coming off with the Han effect here. And then we're just going to claim on the boss side. It doesn't look good for the boss side. Not when you draw 2 Emperor, that's for sure. Vos is still 1 away after this of being able to come out. And again, I really like what Han Shadow can do. I get why people don't like him because he's a reduced cost with where he can get into this mid-range game 1 step earlier than other decks, but it's pretty cool. So nonetheless, we're going to pitch on an Emperor. We're going to then play out a Darth Maul. We're going to kill off both of the spies there. That's a good shot there. That does mean that Queen is now completely viable. Doesn't mean that the Darth Maul actually does survive as well, meaning that it is dangerous on its next turn as well, where it can swing again. Anyways, we're going to go for another Kazuto. Kazuto is going to come on out. It is going to be able to kill off the Maul because it does have the extra 2 attack points on it, thanks to the fact that our boss player has the additional resources over the Kazuto there, so that's pretty nice. We did see them put the Chancellor Palpatine away. Oh, what is their decidement? They can technically use the Chancellor Palpatine to technically ambush off of the boss when the boss is woken on his other side, but I don't know. That really is a question, because if you do plot him out, at least you can get the 2 spy tokens, immediately allowing it, or even if you flip boss and boss can survive maybe a turn, you can still be able to have it swing into something for that 2 damage and still create 2 spy tokens that are both sentineled. But nonetheless, that is important. The fact that that is very important for you to utilize, because you need it to allow you to survive here. Anyways, we are going to go for the boss flip. We are going to be able to plot out here. It looks like we are going to plot out our good friend, Mr. Chancellor Palpatine. We are going to pay the extra 2 there, put in the 1, and then we're going to be able to show we only have 4 left, which does suck, because we did have the OB there. That would actually be very strong here, because we could have OB'd most of the board state off of that. But anyways, we do have the 2 spies with Sentinels because of the Chancellor effect. So anyways, we're just going to go kill off a spy here. Really nothing else. That whole purpose is just to kill the spies. But anyways, we're going to kill the 𝐂𝐍𝐉𝐎𝐾, taking 2 damage back. Again, he only gets the rate and the +2 on the attack. Anyways, we're gonna then kill off the spy there with the Han there. And then we're gonna trigger the effect, of course, of the blue leader there, paying the extra 2 to bring it down. And then we're gonna go for the Sabine's TIE Fighter, bringing it down with the extra 2 damage points. So that is going to be what we played off of the Han effect. So basically, we paid 5 for the blue squadron to come on down and pay the extra 2 so that it come down, get the extra 2 markers, and then kill off the Dragon boss. And then we're going to use the Han effect to then reduce the cost to allow us to play out the Sabine's TIE Fighter for cheap, which is pretty nice there. Does mean that now the Sabine TIE Fighter is going to be capable of getting now experience tokens as long as there's a green unit. Red, it deals 1 damage to a unit or a base on the board state. So we're going to have to kind of see what we want to do. Oh, the Emperor. Well, we can immediately just murk off both the Sabine's TIE Fighter and Queen Amidala here, and leaving, of course, I believe, a couple more points left on the solo. I think the solo should have been picked there for the remainder of the damage. Yep, they're pointing it out there that the Emperor should have dealt a couple damage points there. So, yep, there's a remaining 4 damage to Han, which means the Chancellor can kill off Han Solo here before it actually activates its action, which is very important now, because if the Han dies here, you can't trigger the action because it will technically be rested once it hits back. But the one problem that we can see here is that the boss player has not dealt any damage to the Han player's base. They just can't seem to get a damage threshold going. So anyways, we're just going to go immediately deal 3 damage to the Emperor, 2 damage, finally going to the ECL base here. We're going to pay, looks like 6. Here, question is what we're going to be doing. Oh, another wrecker to burn 1 resource. And then we're just immediately going to kill off the Emperor here. And then we're maybe going to pass that wrecker. That's 7 damage per turn that comes off that wrecker, though. It is a problem. There's not really much you can really do to try to kill off that wrecker. I know for a fact we do have Devastator in there, but unfortunately, I don't think they have the green Devastator, which is going to suck, because that would be able to kill off the wrecker here before it deals any damage and be able to force the Han player into a blank state. But again, that's not really great here. We're just kind of seeing what we want to do here as they look at their resources. I think they were maybe just checking for any smuggle or anything like that, like timely intervention. They do have the Maul, though. I did not see the Maul. They do have the Maul in there. Anyways, we're going to go for the Maul effect to immediately then do the overwhelm damage. Okay, that does get the wrecker off the board state. We do have the Devastator still as well. So anyways, we're going to go for the Han to bring out Obi-Wan Kenobi. No point in really swinging the Chancellor then. Chancellor Palpatine just straight up dies. We're just going to claim it. Then the rest of the resources are going to pay for another queen, because there's just not enough queens in the world. But anyways, then we're going to have to figure out what we want to do here. We do have another Devastator. I don't think those TIE Silencers are going to do much right now in this game state. So, like, putting those... Nah, I don't know exactly how that... I guess no, because technically indirect damage is still damage coming at your opponent. So, I guess if you do direct the indirect damage at the Queen Amidala, unfortunately, it just gets pushed into the spies. So nothing really to do about that. So both leaders have been burned. The ECL base has been burned. We're just going to have to kind of see what we want to do here. We're going to go for the OB to immediately murk off both of the spy tokens, meaning that Queen Amidala is now completely within threat. We're immediately going to swing over the and kill off the Obi-Wan Kenobi there. I was surprised on that one. I guess we just wanted to just kill that. I'm a little surprised on that one. I guess because we don't take the 3 damage points on that, so I guess that's not too surprising there. Anyways, we're going to go for the Han effect again. Han is just going to tap itself to tell us that we're going to reduce the cost by 1 if we so wish for his action. I thought he was reduced to, I thought you had to play a unit per... I guess you could tap to then just blank the effect. That is a thing you can do. Yeah, so in this game, you can blank effects. So we do have a question on a judge call or anything like that. But one thing you can do in this game is you can trigger effects and blank them.
So we could technically, so yeah, you do use the Han effect. You could technically do that and then say, well, I don't want to play a guy for the turn, so you just blank the effect. So that is one thing you could do, because then you can just technically ignore it, because as long as it's not a you must. So anyways, we're going to go for top of the summit there to immediately, was that I couldn't remember. Oh, the third queen. Oh my gosh. I think we've seen all 3 queens, folks. We've seen all 3 queens. So anyways, we're just going to put a price on your head into the resources. Yeah, once you get to this many resources, not pointful or anything like that. So I don't know if that was top of the summit or anything like that, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we're just going to go for the Devastator to kill off the 2 spy tokens, because again, if we even do the indirect damage on the queen, it just gets pushed into the spies. Fortunately, there's not really much you can do here. We're going to go for the Disabling Fang Fighter, which isn't going to be able to do much. There's nothing to remove it, and the Han's going to come down, and so is the Constable as well, which does the exact same thing as the Fang Fighter, but there's not really much else the boss player can do. There's just too many bodies now on the board. That Poe is a 6/6, and then the Queen is a 5. There really isn't much you can do. Maybe if you had another Maul, so that you could go swing into the Queen and swing into Poe Dameron and then kill them both off of the board. That's really about it. There's not much else you can really do. They do have a Django they can attempt to bring in to stop 5 damage, but again, I don't know if there's really much you can do at this point. So anyways, we're going to go for another Devastator. This Devastator is going to deal the 4, and we're going to immediately use the 4 indirect damage to kill off the Queen and to kill off the Constable, and then there's another Poe Dameron on the board. It looks like they just played, and then for Cause I Believe in, and they just got it. Enough there. It looked like they just needed 2 damage points. I didn't see enough to really do it, but nonetheless, it really matter. Even with the Poe Dameron on the board state, there's not much you can really do about it. So the game goes to good old Han Shadow ECL. But you guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the gameplay of these 2 decks. What are your thoughts on them both? Have you guys tried them out in the sec meta? What are your thoughts overall on Dryden Voss? Do you think blue or red is the better color to play with him? And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you get notified when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time on Mom Dragons TCG.